Hi there, and welcome back to Earworm Ministries. My name is Matt,
My name is Sherry.
and if you didn't catch in the first episode, an earworm, we all get them. It's just a song or a saying that just gets stuck in your head, and sometimes it just doesn't go away for hours. Um, and recently, we've been getting these earworms as just a little bit of a message from God to for these songs to share to share these songs with people and to just kind of spread the word and praise of God. Um,
The short story we're going to share today is a story that's very dear to our both of our hearts because it was something that really truly brought us to following God. And back in July, we were blessed with a 10-day vacation with our family, some of our family, and we had returned on July 21st, and then the next day he wasn't feeling very well, and we kind of contributed maybe to being on a long trip or whatever, and then
just really drastically tired to where I just
he
suddenly felt like I was going to fall asleep.
and so um he felt a little better Sunday, but still was not feeling the best. um Monday, I went to work. It was my first day back from vacation. Um, and I leave early because we have a school up the road and traffic can get wonky. But um, I no more and clocked in, and he called me, was telling me that he did not feel well. And
Shortness of breath. I could barely even talk without running out of breath. Even as I was telling her these things, I ran out of breath like two or three times. Um, Pain in my chest, in my arms, really lightheaded, like I was just gonna collapse.
in his fear, because we had our grandchildren at the time, was that something was going to happen to him and our grandkids would find him. So he came from his workspace out to our living room, and he called me, and I'm like, so he's telling me everything. I was like, okay, I'm on my way, be ready. I talked to my grandson, said, get your shoes on, keep an eye on Papa, and I'm on my way. And it literally took me no time to get here. We got loaded up. On the way, I contacted the kids' mom. I knew she was at work, but she's very understanding, and she did come pick up the kids from the hospital. Now, at first, when we got to the hospital, they took him to the back, ran some tests, and I sat out there for an hour, and it freaked me out. And then I went up. They said he was in a special waiting room, so they allowed me to go back there. Um, because it was a heart issue, they have special rooms in the back for people with heart issues. So they they were waiting for a room to come open. When we got back there, the doctor came in. They ran tests. They did everything they could, and the doctor felt like there needed to be more tests ran. He wanted to go home. Doctor looks at me. He goes, do I need to give you a minute to talk? I was like, yes. Knowing his family history with
The
heart.
look, for any married man out there, you know it as well as I do. The look.
So the doctor left, and I said, look, your brother had a widowmaker. We're not taking the chance. And he's like, okay. He did not fight me at all. Um, but the next day, they did admit him. The next day, they ran tests. They found 3 blockages. Um, so the original heart surgeon they wanted us to see, they
They rotate out. They're not permanently assigned.
Right. And he was fixing to leave on Friday, so he didn't want to get into his surgery because most times when a doctor sees a patient,
He
another doctor doesn't want to take them over.
he wouldn't have been able to
So,
follow up and such.
but we both feel like the doctor that we ended up with
Was
was
a
a
blessing.
blessing from God because he ended up being one of the top heart surgeons in America. So we just feel like God put us in that place at that time to have this doctor. Um, when he did come in that Thursday night to see him, I was explaining to him about my brother-in-law having a widowmaker, a few years back, and he literally laughed at it because he said what he experienced is nowhere near as bad as my husband's heart was. And if I have to say at that point, my heart just hit the floor because I'm just like, what, you know? But they did his heart surgery the next day, but we didn't find out until that night that there was a fourth blockage. So we had two at 100, one at 90, and one at 70. He still has one of the 100% blockages on the backside of his heart
Because it
because
was
of the
just so damaged that
Yeah.
they could not bypass it.
Um. So, I mean, I tried to work, but I couldn't. I was in a mess. So my boss did work with me on everything. He helped me out a tremendous with meals and just time off, and that was a true blessing right there as well. But the first day that I went back to work, I was a mess because I was leaving him at home for the first time. Um, and he did have a life vest on, which if no one knows what a life vest is, it's a monitor of the heart. It's a vest, and you wear they.
Looks like a sports
He
bra.
called it a sports
Looks
bra.
like a sports bra.
But it has four little round discs that monitors his heart, and then he has had three panels.
That
There
were
was
a
two
defibrillator.
that was a defibrillator. There was two on his back, and then one that ran underneath his heart on the left side. So, I mean, I knew he had that on, but still, just leaving him after having this was very heart wrenching for me. And so I bugged him all night, and I called him probably about 50 times. I texted him probably about 50 times and called him multiple times and just bugged him because I wanted to make sure
She wasn't bugging me.
that he was okay because I'm not done with him yet. I mean, I've only had him for 33 years, so I'm not done with him yet. We haven't hit our 50th. So, but I'm sorry, guys. I am tearing up a little bit just thinking about all this because it is still. I mean, we're only about 5-6 months out from this happening, and
It's still pretty fresh.
yeah, and so on the way home, I was listening to music, and I was just listening to my normal music, and I thought God's not gonna want me to listen to this. This is not the music that He wants us to listen to. So I flipped it over and I was scanning through, and I come through 90.7, which is K-Love. I'm sorry, not Kiss. K-Love. And, sorry guys. It was at the end of a song, and it was God's Not Done With You Yet, and that is the name of the song, but that's not our earworm for today. So the very next song was this song, Scars by I Am They. And
now we understand it is more so about the scars that Jesus has
right.
from being crucified. But
on my end, I thought about, when all that happened, when all this started happening, God had two choices. He could have taken my husband from me, or he could fix what was broken and move on. And so now I don't know if you can see it, but he has a scar on his arm. He also has one on his chest and one on his leg. The scar on his arm is where they took the arteries for his bypass, and on the leg where they did the bypass, and obviously the chest is where they had to break it
Crack
open.
me open
Um,
like a walnut.
so some of the verse in there, it says, "Without your scars, I would never know your heart." And I feel like without my husband's scars, I would have never came back to God. I would never known how grateful I could be to God for everyday blessings, just little things, just the sunshine hitting your face, or be able to still hold my husband's hand. It's still very much a blessing every little bit. I mean, when he first got in there, his heart was only working at 29%. And every day it's getting stronger. When he got out of the hospital, it was working at 40%, and then we just did a checkup last week and it's at 45%. But it's still getting stronger, and we're still working on it.
I'm blessed every day too. And we're and that's part of the reason why we're doing these earworms, because again, we want to get the praise and glory out there to God. And if this just touches just one person, all of this will be so worth it.
And the one thing that we forgot to mention this, that when we found out everything that was going on, I had just got my sister-in-law's number, and I told her, I said, I need Ronnie to call me, and that's my brother-in-law. And he called me, and he told me, he said, you need to tell Matt he has to get right with God. But at that point when I was talking to him, I was actually going back into Matt's room, and I handed my phone to him, and I said, basically told him, I'm like, here, you tell him what needs to be said or done.
And Ronnie told me, get right with God, because I don't want to be in heaven without you.
Yep.
And it really hit, and it really stuck. And that, by the grace of God, we're here today.
So we will link the code below for Scars by I Am They. Please listen to it, and listen to it with your whole heart, because we are in a time right now. I mean, we're in Thanksgiving week, and what a better way to thank God, because without God, you don't have much. I mean, your life can't be full of joy, and it doesn't matter if it's sun shining out or it's raining out. It doesn't matter. Every day is a blessing.
Everything is.
And just whatever you guys need, comment below if you find something that touches your heart in this song.
Please share it. And if you have a song you want to share with us,
exactly,
feel free to as well. If you want to do it anonymously, you can send us an email. It's earworm.ministries@yahoo.com.
Plus, we do have a Facebook page at Earworm Ministries. There's no dot in that one. It's just Earworm Ministries. Come join us on there. We share daily. He shares daily earworms. I get on there once in a while. He just had foot surgery, taking care of him and other household duties. But please reach out to us. We check our email daily. Probably several times a day, actually.
And we would just absolutely love to hear from you.
Yes.
So.
And just, if you're struggling, find a church, find a Bible, pray. Um, God may never answer you the way you want Him to answer you, but He will always answer your prayers the way He wants them to be answered. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this little bit. Please, if you have not gone and watched our first video, go back and watch it. And we look forward to hearing from you guys. And you guys have a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks and God bless.